G'day, I'm Mark Tyndall. For those of you I haven't met or haven't received my flyer, I just wanted to take a few minutes to introduce myself. I'm the independent candidate for the federal seat of Lindsay. A bit of history about myself and my family. My grandparents were the last tenants of the old Arms of Australia Inn at Emu Plains before it was handed back to the Historical Society in 1968. I was born in Nepean Hospital and I was raised and grew up in the local area, attending St Nicholas of Myra, St Dominic's College, Jamison High School. I finished my final senior years at McCarthy Catholic High School at Emu Plains. I was an apprentice glazier and I went on to run my own business. I went to University of Western Sydney studying a Bachelor of Criminology, which was inspired by my work for the New South Wales justice system for just over a decade and is on hold while I'm campaigning for a fair go for Lindsay. I'm currently the General Manager of an SME, which I maintain while I've been campaigning. My children go to school here. My wife is a local, born and raised, and currently works in the disability sector. I've lived 41 out of 46 years in the local Penrith area. That's why I bleed Penrith. That's why I hate seeing Penrith and Western Sydney shortchanged. Population growth continues to impact electricity, water and food security. I cannot for the life of me come up with a valid reason for why we're stacked and squeezed in shoeboxes on the edge of rural agricultural land in Mulgoa. Why else would a block of land be $600,000 or a two-bedroom apartment go for $470,000? Anyone that tells you that we can keep developing the edge of the city and the base of the Blue Mountains is lying to you. No good can come of turning our food bowls into concrete jungles. We can't keep pretending it's okay. We need to take a hard look at ourselves and begin work on an appropriate population policy that serves the citizens of our country, and that's you and me. When we look at infrastructure, not far away is the expansion of the Northern Road and the M4, which only guarantees more unsustainable overdevelopment. These road projects are not for your benefit or mine. They're not for the benefit of the current long-term residents. They're not intended to provide better service to you and I. They're created so the government can say that we've got access to transport and give themselves permission to uplift zoning and add more density and development. We need at least one and possibly two north-south rail links to integrated public transport networks to open up and create the jobs market for Western Sydney. With over 2 million residents in Western Sydney, it's a ridiculous claim that we should even get an international airport before we get rail lines that have been missing for the last 60 or 70 years. Recent print news indicated that we've got 5 Newcastles being pushed onto us. But there's no way that I can support this if there's no plan for integrated public transport mapped out and budgeted well in advance. We need the state and federal government to work together on improved health services across the Penrith area. With 110,000 new residents expected in the Hawkesbury, Blue Mountains and Penrith area over the next 12 years, it's difficult to see how our hospital will cope without the nurse-to-patient ratios and the investment that goes with it. Nepean Hospital is understaffed, under-resourced and under pressure. And charging people to park, well, that's heartless and it's just icing on the cake. We need education and schools, not stadiums. A prime example of the failing domestic services is the Jordan Springs Public School. It was promised 2 years ago and it hasn't even been started. Hiding behind commercial incompetence is a farce. The government is engaged in public projects and public money. The government needs to remember that they work for us. So therefore, commercial incompetence has no merit and holds no water. We must make all public transactions transparent. It's that simple. I'm personally at the point where I don't trust Labor to follow through on its schools, not stadiums mantra. I have not seen a final position from the new Labor leader, even though the stadium contract could be torn up with no cost to the taxpayer. I've not heard how the money will be repurposed to Western Sydney. Worse still, Bill Shorten corrected Anthony Albanese to confirm that the ALP will keep funding WestConnex to the tune of $3.5 billion. This is one of the projects trapping us into decades of unnecessary and costly tolls, likely to be running long after I'm dead. It's simply ridiculous. We need better. We demand better. I am and I will. This is just a snapshot of some of the issues that have been raised to me while I've been out campaigning over the last 6 or 7 months. I haven't yet even spoken about issues such as taxes, the Banking and Aged Care Royal Commission, heritage, justice and the NBN. No matter the specific issue raised to me by local residents, business owners and community organisations, there's one common thread. The average punter doesn't care whether it's local, state or a federal issue. They just want a representative that will listen and act and work for them. Many have asked me to run for the state seat of Penrith as well as the federal seat of Lindsay. After initially rejecting the idea, having given it some thought on how I can bring about positive change for the people of Penrith and Western Sydney, I've decided to take up that challenge. I'm all in for Penrith.